everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a lovely day so far. If you are new here, then welcome. My name is Millie. I make videos just like this all the time. I'm always testing new products, doing wear tests, reviews, trying out new products and telling you whether they are worth your hard-earned money or not. And today we are diving into the new Beauty Bay palette. This is the Retro Love 20 pan palette. I picked this up yesterday. I paid extra for next day delivery. It's here and I'm so excited to dive into it. So let's just open her up. So the pattern on the outside of the box is also on the outside of the palette, which I love. I love that that design choice has been mirrored on the actual packaging of the product that you keep. The lettering here is raised and that's like shiny and the rest of it is matte. I absolutely love the design of this. I know that that is not relevant at all, but I do enjoy the packaging. I do enjoy the design of it. And then inside, oh, just look at those colours. These are absolutely beautiful. I feel like there's a really great selection of neutral colours, so you can do a very sort of neutral warm brown smoky eye if that's the sort of thing that you want to go for. But there's also so many colours, like all of the colours that you would need. I do feel like this isn't necessarily very bright. So I have the bright 42 pan palette, the original one, and that is very bright, very intense colour. I feel like this one is a little bit more dusky. Like, yes, there's a sort of mustardy yellow, there's a very bright green, there's a very bright pink, but if you sort of took out these two, I feel like it would be quite a neutral coloured palette, if that makes sense. It's quite dusky, it's quite toned down, but it's still absolutely beautiful. It almost leans a little bit pastel, like some of the colours are very pastel. I absolutely love it. So like I say, this is what all of these look like. You have 20 pans. I'm going to swatch them all on the back of my arm and we'll see how the colours look on somebody that is incredibly fair. So first up we have Chapel of Love, and that's a matte white. Then we have Heartbreak Hotel, and that was that lime green. And again, that one is a matte. That colour is absolutely beautiful. Then next up we have Love Train, and that's a shimmer. I absolutely adore the Beauty Bay shimmer formula. That one does not disappoint. And then we have Blue Suede, and that one's a matte too. Then lastly on the top row we've got another shimmer, and this one's called River Deep. That colour is incredible. So then onto the second row we have LOVE, and that's a matte lilac colour. I might just go over that one again actually. Yes, that's better. That second layer has really made that colour pop. So that was LOVE, a matte lilac. Then we have My Girl, which is a purple. In the pan that just looked lilac, but actually on that swatch it looks like it's reflecting pink. That's a really beautiful colour. And then next we have It Takes Two, and that's a matte black. Again, I'm just going to go over that one. I don't know if it's because it's my little finger, I'm getting less product on it. But going over that one again, very, very intense black. Beautiful. Very useful to have a matte black in any palette, I think. So next up we have Moon River, and anybody that has seen any of my videos before will know that that is my favourite colour of all time, and that one is not disappointing. That almost has like a brown undertone, and then that incredible blue turquoisey teal reflect to it. I absolutely love that colour. Then next up we have Magic Moment, which is a matte. Wow. Okay. That colour would have honestly kept on going. Like, there's so much product left on my finger there. That colour. Oh my gosh, I'm speechless. That is absolutely incredible. Then we have Good Vibrations, and this is a more neutrally sort of pink toned gold. almost. I feel like that's not showing up very well on my skin there. Let me go in again. That is very similar to my skin tone, but I hope you can see where that's reflecting just here. I hope that's showing up. I can't see very well in my viewfinder. Then next up we have Love Me Do, which again is just like a transition-y, neutrally tone. I am just dipping in a few times because those swatches from my little finger aren't going on very well. I think it's more to do with my finger than it is to do with the shadows. And again, that's a really useful shade to have in a palette. You can always use a shade like this to blend out other colours, to put through the crease. A really, really great sort of everyday neutral, even in a very bright eyeshadow palette. Then next up we have Cupid, and that's that bright hot pink. That's a matte. That's a really beautiful shade actually, isn't it? That's not actually going on as bright as I thought it would do. Pink isn't necessarily a colour that I reach for a ton, but that is really, really pretty. Then next up we have Buttercup, and as you would imagine, that is a yellow shade, and that's a matte as well. I'm just going to go in with a little bit more of that shade. That's almost like a mustardy yellow. That's really, really pretty. Then we have Happy Together, and that's a shimmer as well. That's more of like a true gold shimmer. That's a lot more pigmented than that Good Vibration shade, which is here. I feel like in the pan this shade and this shade looked quite similar, but they are showing up quite different on the skin. I really, really like those. So next up we have At Last, and that's a matte shade, almost like a dusky pink lilac-y sort of shade. Really, really pretty. So that sort of shade would be perfect for blending out something like Cupid, just a little bit more neutral, a little bit more dusky, just to blend out a really intense colour such as this one. And then the last four are a lot more neutrally sort of everyday pink based colours. So this one is a shimmer, and that's called Be My Baby. So that's pink, but it almost has like a goldeny, almost like coppery undertone. That's really, really pretty. Then we have Baby Love, which is a matte, and this in the pan just looks like a coral. Yeah, that is such a beautiful shade. Then we have Brown Eyed Girl, which as you would imagine by the name is a brown. Again, really, really great neutral everyday shade to have in a palette. So you can either like darken up the lash line with a brown like this one, or the black, depending on what kind of look you're going for. And then the last one, struggling to reach down my elbow here, is Can't Hurry Love, and I am going to go over that one again because I'm at such a strange angle now I can barely reach. So excuse that last shade down there. That is pretty much completely on my elbow, so I did struggle to reach that a little bit, but that one is called Can't Hurry Love. This shade, I really, really enjoy a shade like this like deep plummy purpley colour to darken up the lash line, like I just said about the brown and the black. Because I have blue eyes, this sort of colour really brings out the blue in my eyes, I think. That sort of warmer, purplier tone. But that is all of the shades. This one and this one, like, oh, I just absolutely love those. I can't stop looking at them. They are absolutely incredible. But what do you think of the swatches? I feel like there's a very blue half and there's a very pink half, looking at it in the viewfinder there, but let me know what you think. I absolutely love these. I mean, it's no secret here that I am an absolutely huge fan of Beauty Bay shadows, and this is no exception. I am so excited to get some of these colours on my eyes. So like I say, I've already done the rest of my base makeup. I will just quickly mention I did use the Lasting Perfection Stretch Concealer and Eyeshadow Primer across my eyes. That was about an hour and a half ago, but that's what's on there. It is slightly tacky. So let's get the mirror protector off and dive into the palette, shall we? So I'm going to zoom you in so that you can see what I'm doing. I'm so drawn to these blues. That Moon River shade is absolutely calling my name. But do I do something different because I should? These ones are also calling my name to like match the palette, to like match the design of the palette, that green and that lilac. Oh, what do I do? What do I do? You know what, I think I am going to do something slightly different for me. So I'm going to go in with a fairly clean little fluffy brush. The brushes that I'm going to use are from Beauty Bay as well. I will leave them linked down below. I'm going to go into Heartbreak Hotel, this green shade, on a fluffy blending brush. And I'm going to load that up on there, and I'm going to put that slightly above the crease all the way along. Yeah, that's nice and pigmented. That's almost like a pastel. That's coming off a lot more pastel than I was expecting it to, but incredibly, incredibly pretty. So I'm going to take a really big fluffy brush and I'm going to dip into that Chapel of Love, that white shade. I'm just going to very, very lightly buff over the top edge of that just to blend it into my skin a tiny bit more. So next I'm going to go into the LOVE matte, sort of really lilac-y shade down here. I'm going to take this on a densely packed brush and I'm going to pack this onto the lid about halfway over the eye, starting from the outer corner and working my way in, and then I'll go back in with that first brush and blend it into the green. So I've gone back in with that first brush and really intensified that light green colour, and it's blended that purple into it really nicely. I feel like that looks really nice on that outer corner. So I'm going to go in with my finger, I think, and I'm going to go into that My Girl shade, that purple, the next one over, and I'm going to pack this onto the lid and the inner corner, like the inner half of the lid, I suppose. Blend it into that matte purple that we put down. Ooh, that's such a pretty colour. That almost looks darker than the matte shade that we put down. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Not sure. Okay, no surprises there. That was blended out absolutely beautifully. I don't know how I necessarily feel about this look, but the colours look incredible. I feel like it's just my application that's maybe throwing me off a little bit here. I love the colours together. I feel like maybe the placement is just a little bit wrong for my face. However, I'm going to persevere. I'm going to go in with Love Train, that first shimmer, that like icy white shade, and I'm going to tap that over the top of that inner half. Oh my goodness, that shade. I hope that's coming up on camera. That is absolutely incredible. Okay, I got way too much there though. There's enough there for both sides. Blending out that top edge of that shimmer, I feel like that looks a lot better. I had taken that just a little bit too high. I feel like that has sort of helped tie those colours together, because that inner half, that My Girl shade, was, I think that's what was throwing me off, but I like it now. So I'm going to go in with that same fluffy brush and I'm going to go back in to Heartbreak Hotel, that lime shade that we put on the crease, and I'm going to run that along the lower lash line. I'm going to just intensify that lilac colour a little bit on the outer half, take that a little bit further out. I feel like the green right out here is also throwing me off, like here, if you can see that. I feel like that is making it feel a little bit off for me. So taking that purple shade and just layering it over the top. I'm going to dip into that Can't Hurry Love shade on a tiny little pencil brush, and I'm going to, very, very close to the lash line, stamp that along on the outer half. I'm just deepening up that lash line a tiny, tiny little bit, and I already feel happier with this half. So it's the smallest little bit of colour, but I feel like that just grounds it a little bit. Obviously it will look completely different once we put mascara on anyway, but I really like how that looks now. I was feeling a little bit shaky in the middle there. Do the same on the other side. I'm going to go in with a tiny, tiny little bit more of that Love Train shade and pop it right on the inner corner. Oh, I love that colour. That could possibly be my second favourite colour out of this palette, because you know that Moon River shade just has my heart. So that's all of those colours blended out, blended in. I love that shade along the lash line, as I thought I would, but that is just the perfect shade for doing exactly what I did, intensifying the lash line a little bit. That looks so pretty. That colour on the inner corner is incredible. That is so, like, it's such an interesting colour. Like, it just looks white in the pan, but it definitely has an interesting reflect to it. So I'm going to put on some mascara. I'm going to use the Relove Long Lash Lengthening Mascara, and I'm just going to add a little bit. I don't want to cover up any of this amazing colour with big chunky lashes, so I'm just going to apply a little bit of this just so that we have some lashes, just so that there's something there, but I don't want to cover any of this up. So that is the eyes completely done. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of this palette. Let me know what you think of the whole colour story. I'll zoom you out 1 second, you are a little bit closer. But yeah, let me know what you think. Is this the sort of look that you would create with, like, given these colours? This was definitely not the look that I thought it was going to be when I first looked at this palette. I was like, absolutely, that teal shade needs to be all over my eyes immediately. That will be coming soon. I will definitely film that at some point this week, and I will try and get that up for you as soon as possible. I will obviously be playing with this palette a ton. I will try and film as many different looks as possible. If you want to see that, you can subscribe down below, and then you'll get a notification every time I post a new video. If you want to see a whole playlist testing out different Beauty Bay palettes, you're in luck. I do have one. I have tested all of them, pretty much all of them. All of the ones that I have reviewed on my channel, so you can see those. I will link the playlist up here, but let me know what you think. I absolutely love this look, and I absolutely love this palette. It's what's to be expected from a Beauty Bay palette. Like, it is absolutely, like, it's the same as all of the other Beauty Bay palettes in terms of quality, which is absolutely phenomenal. I think that these are fantastic eyeshadow formulas. The mattes blend out so beautifully, but they're really intensely pigmented. The shimmers are like otherworldly. They're absolutely incredible. Let me know what you think. Let me know if there's any other colour combinations that you want to see. I will be doing a lot of them soon. So until next time, thank you so much for watching. Bye.